Welcome, join us as we explore the mystical insights of the Blood Moon Oracle, revealing profound guidance for your journey ahead. Thank you for watching.
Saturday is the day where I just do a little cleaning, go through the house, singing to my plants and singing to my walls, and just being free. I hope you guys are well today. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led to do so. I hope you guys are well. I'm trying to see what we will be tapping into today. No, I don't, there's no sleep. And if you're looking for me, I'm gonna be. I'm searching for a long time. So we're using a couple of decks. The first one is the trees, using Wisdom of Trees Oracle. I pulled this off my shelf to tap into this. And then the second one is going to be an element of nature as well. Mushroom Spirit is the oracle for this deck. And then we're going to tap into just the regular tarot with my Star Tarot deck and my regular Crow Oracle deck for clarifications, or vice versa. However we do that, it's fine. Found a new day, came into my life. Oh, walking by my side. So safe, so safe. Let's take a look at what's happening for you right now. This is going to be the horseshoe spread. It's a 7-card spread. That's going to tap into different aspects of your situation right now. What does my hero need to know today, Spirit? All right, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know if it resonates. It is a general reading, so don't feel like you have to make it fit. Okay, so we're just going to tap into the energy with this first spread here, delving into using the Wisdom of Trees Oracle. Let me turn this down because I get distracted with the music. And so just to start off, again, I hope you guys are well. I hope today is a beautiful day that's unleashing all types of connections for you and, encouragement, inspiration, whatever is needed for you today. I hope it is something that is abundantly provided for you. And so when we look at looking at the past energy, we have sweet oranges. I like this already, right? Sweet oranges from the past. And let's take a look and see what that is. This is all about zest and sweetness, right? So there's something in the past that represents very beautiful energy, maybe something that leaves a stain of good memories for you. Sweet oranges represent, like zest for life, energy, inspiration, also sweetness, like something that represents something good that you can remember, something that probably is not only visual when you think of it, but it actually brings back certain feelings in your body, like something in the past that's just very beautiful, gives you a lot of enthusiastic energy, and is a little bit catchy too. It could be infectious, right? And when I think of feeling an orange, you can smell that like in the next room and make somebody else want one, And so there's something very infectious about the energy from the past for you, very inspirational, very exemplary as well. This may, in fact, fuel your desire to reach new heights and to do more. There's something very beautiful coming from the past. Now, symbolically speaking, this could be something from the past that's bringing forth a lot of fruit right now in your life. And you may, in fact, find yourself seeing that come to life. Maybe you've planted some seeds, right? And now you're seeing the fruit sprouting that you're able to enjoy now. So it could be symbolic, it could be literal. However that comes across in the past, it feels good generally. Okay, the energy that's coming out. Now we look in the present time. We have the bristlecone pine, and it gives a little bit of a fall feeling for me. Um, it gives a little bit of a fall feeling. There's a spider web that's in the tree. There's not a lot of leaves on the tree, right? The wind feels like it's picking up a little bit. And so there's something in the right now where it feels very constant and consistent. This particular card represents the energy of persistence. Um, this particular tree has needles on it that actually stays green for over 40 years. Imagine that. 40 years, the needles stay green before they actually drop off and die, right? I've never seen a tree with such persistence. So this is all about the art of persisting. So there's something in the right now that may be causing you to have to carry forward or even survive, just consistently, no matter what comes, no matter who goes, there's this moving forward and thriving despite the situation. And even looking at this tree, it almost feels like there's a little bit of turbulence happening. However, there's still green bristles on the tree. Yeah, so this is about longevity. Right now could be a time where things may not, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all good and things are peachy creamy. It doesn't matter what it is. You're persisting and you're moving forward and you're facing those difficulties with the idea of needing to move forward, doing your very best to be strong and hold up no matter like what's happening around you, maybe even pushing forward towards your goals while learning from any challenges that are coming up right now. So I get the energy of maybe being challenged with some things currently and persisting through them. Okay. So this could be a time where you're having to encourage yourself and stay the course. Okay. Encourage yourself and stay the course. Now, the hidden influences, I love this, is Pipal. So there's some hidden energies here that comes in that's influencing what's happening right now. And first of all, I noticed there is at the base of the tree, within the tree itself, there's someone that's kneeling, that's in a very sacred position. It's almost like there is a oneness with the tree, maybe. Let's see. Pipal. I don't even know what kind of tree this is. This is a Pipal tree, and it's all about enlightenment, right? That's the energy I get because someone's sitting here and they're meditating in the tree. This is about enlightenment. And so there's hidden influences currently in your situation that is enlightening you. So whatever is happening right now, it's serving to lift you up or take you to higher heights. So this may also be calling you, if you are, to continue to meditate. That is a key element in your ascension, in your enlightenment right now. Being committed to that, that is the vehicle to move you out of this difficulty. Practicing mindfulness, where you can tap in and be aware of everything that you're doing from moment to moment and being present as well. So this is a secret influences that's coming through for you right now. Maybe you don't even realize that this is having such a heavy impact on your situation, the fact that you take time to meditate or to pray or to get still. It's having a huge effect on your situation, whether you know that or not. It's coming in as a hidden influence, so maybe you don't know it, but it is. And it's very funny because it's such a simple thing. And it almost feels like when we go into meditation, sometimes it doesn't feel like there's no difference. Sometimes we go in, maybe sometimes we come out feeling worse than we did when we go in, right? There's lots of things that happen through the process of meditating or praying or getting still. But many of it, we don't even see how it's affecting our situation in the spiritual realm. I get that energy, huge ramifications in the spiritual realm. And so for some of you who are meditating and praying, and there's red flags in the tree too. I just noticed that there's red flags. This is keeping you on your toes and showing you things. There's some enlightenment, like you are becoming more, like there's some deepening happening here. I even want to say ascension as well. That's transcending your situation. So whatever you're doing for your stillness, keep doing it. It's helping more than you realize, okay? What are the obstacles? We have coast redwoods, big trees. There's actually a place called Big Trees here in California. It's a place with all these beautiful, just tall, out of this world trees. And so the obstacle is around growth right now. Maybe, this is all about having those things that we have to do to move forward, like growing pains is a bit painful. However, it is our body outgrowing its current state. Sometimes it comes in for teenagers, they go through these growing pains where our bodies ache, like our bones will ache a little bit, our legs will ache. Not necessarily anything wrong, it's just your body is outgrowing its current state. And it's almost like you can feel it, right? And it's a little bit irritating, or it's kind of like your wisdom teeth growing in too. A lot of people will complain about that. For me, it just itched a little bit. So I would chew gum and I would hurt, trying to help it to break through the skin, that growth coming through. And so this feels like an obstacle for you. The fact that there's growth that's happening right now. And it comes through as tall trees, the tall trees on earth, the tallest ones, actually being some of the oldest as well. And being that they are the oldest, you can imagine what they've endured, what they've seen, what they have been a part of, some very difficult storms that they've weathered and dangers. So there's something very resilient about these tall trees. The coast redwoods represent this connection because of their longevity on earth and their ability to span between times. There's this representation between heaven and earth. First of all, they're so tall, they reach up into the heavens, but they're also still very much connected to the earth. So they represent this very interesting connection, right? And so for someone, the challenge right now is having courage to actually allow yourself to be someone that's able to be stretched, is what I'm hearing. That's able to be stretched out of your current position, right? Be someone that's able to be stretched. And don't be afraid to grow, to excel beyond what you are right now. Don't be afraid of the difficulties that you'll face through that change or through that growth, or the pain that may result from even lessons that we need to experience to grow, right? So there's something about this coming through as a challenge. Someone may be being challenged to move forward out of your comfort zone so that you can grow and be stretched. This is coming through as a challenge. Maybe there's a lack of understanding the depth of what you've been called to do or what you're capable of, right? But this is coming through as a challenge. Yep. My heart, though. I'm hearing someone's afraid of what they'll have to suffer. There's something happening right now, and someone's afraid to move forward a certain direction because there's a fear of what you may have to suffer. But understand that sometimes there's no way around it. Like sometimes we either go willingly or we go kicking and screaming. When we reject one path, then it reappears just a different way at a different time. And I'm hearing Spirit say there's no way around not stepping into your calling. You have to step into your calling. You've been called. Imagine a tree that's supposed to expand up into the heavens 100 feet or more, right? Imagine it fighting the growth of growing tall. Is it possible to do that? I'm sure there's been instances like weird freaks of nature where if a tree did decide I'm not growing up, I'm gonna grow this way, right? Because I'm afraid to extend straight up. I'm gonna grow sideways. How would that work? And would it be sustainable? Probably not. Not only would it not be sustainable, it would probably get in a lot of other trees' ways, and cause just a lot of weird things to happen, And so there's something about having a path, right? Being called to be a tall tree. So allow yourself to be stretched, just coming in as a challenge. But this is what, the calling is. For this tree, this is the path of least resistance. It would be much more difficult to grow sideways than just straight up. That's the natural path. And so, if nothing else, just be encouraged that this is your natural path. It may feel scary, or there may be difficulties along that path, but for you, because this is your path, what is slightly difficult for you is impossible for somebody else, because this is your path, and you've been created to travel this path. Just like that tree grows with ease. There's nothing that it really has to do other than just allow itself to grow. That's also true for you. Yeah, there's storms that come that, it has to weather, right? But it's part of it. Yet it still grows 100 feet tall, right? It still remains strong. It gets stronger the taller it reaches up. The further into the ground it reaches as well. So there's something very beautiful about this obstacle. There's something that may be trying to prevent you from reaching up, from growing, from exhaling. It could be storms, difficulties, your surroundings, the weather around you. Nevertheless, just understand that this is your natural path to grow. For you, that's the easiest path of, to travel. That's the least path of resistance because it's natural for you. Let's take a look at what those outside influences are. We know what the hidden influences are, which is actually good influences. What's going to help you is to go inwardly and to stay connected, not only with yourself, but with your higher power through meditation. Stay connected to stillness and presence. This is what's really, really helping out. Now, outside influences outside of yourself comes in as the willow. The willow, interesting. And there's a harp by the willow. So for someone, music may be a very beautiful outside influence that helps you in some type of way. It's a beautiful influence, I would say. But when we look at the willow, let's take a look and see. So the willow is all, when I think of a willow tree, I guess I'm thinking, there's different kinds of willows, but first thing that comes to my mind is the weeping willow, right? Which kind of sags down. But this one isn't saying it's a weeping willow. It's just calling it a willow. And it brings in the energy of harmony. And so there's something about the energy of cooperation or harmony outside of you that's serving as an influence. And the message coming from Willow is all about your roots spreading far, allowing yourself to go deep, being firmly planted and stable and grounded, right? That's the influence outside of you, is being connected to something that will allow you to go deep. Being connected to even ancient energies, the elements. It's talking about the moon here. It's talking about the elements, like the moon, something about moon cycles. Being connected to the moon is going to help you create peaceful, loving relationships with those around you. So something about being connected with the element and showing respect for all forms of life, right? Acknowledging your connection to all things and showing respect for that connection. This is going to help you to build the stability and the groundedness outside of yourself, especially as it pertains to building solid, durable relationships with things and people around you. And there's the call to spread this energy of peace and harmony by how we interact with things outside of ourselves, interacting in a very respectful and peaceful way. Do to others and do to things the way that you would like to be done, right? And so give the respect that you would want, give the love that you would want, give the consideration, the time and the care that you would want, right? It's acting in the way that you would like to be treated is what the willow is bringing in. And so it's almost like you want to project into the mirror of the world what you would like to see, okay? And that's the influence outside of you, okay? That's the influence outside of you, the outside influences. And so basically, there's something here about music too that may be important for you. Maybe that's an outside influence that helps you to maintain this very harmonious energy, or maybe even looking at yourself in a harmonious way, like in kind of like a orchestration with nature, like you have a part to play overall. Looking at yourself as like an instrument as well could be part of, fitting in with things around you in a peaceful, harmonious way. We have to live in the world, which means we have to coexist. It's not just us in the world, but there's people around us, there's things around us. We have to coexist. And so there's something about doing that harmoniously, finding a way to do that harmoniously. This is the outside influences, is finding harmony, things that you can harmonize with, okay? It has a lot to do, it didn't say a lot about people, but this is talking about the elements specifically. Those are the outward influences that are really tapping in to your experience right now. So that may be something to pay attention to. It specifically mentioned the moon. And I'm seeing music here with the heart. And of course, we have trees, we have nature itself. And so paying attention to nature overall and the elements and allowing yourself to be rooted and grounded in those things is going to be very beneficial. Those are actually the influences that are playing a part right now in your stability, okay? This may also be tapping into your own essence, your own feminine energy. The moon is very feminine. And so this may, and then I'm seeing the heart, which brings me to this very goddess, godlike energy. This is like really tapping into the essence of who you are on a very natural level. That may come across as very healing, right? And so there's lots of things that can bring us back to that very neutral, peaceful state of being, which is the state of healing, right? And so understand that you have that at your disposal. These are the outward influences that are at your disposal, okay? So what to do next? We have Eastern Cottonwood. Now that we know a little bit about the situation, the biggest struggle right now is rising and exhaling, extending ourselves towards growth, And so we know that meditation is working in that way, that there is certain parts of our natural being that's very resilient, right? We see ourselves as very strong and already have come through a whole bunch, yet we still remain. We've been through fire, and yet we don't even smell like smoke. We're still standing. There's something very beautiful coming forth right now with the fruit, right, that we're going to be able to experience if we're not already. So there is a reason to persevere, right? Good things coming. There's a reason to find stability and stay grounded. Now, when we look at the best course of action, we have Eastern Cottonwood. And so Eastern Cottonwood, let's see, I've never heard of this tree. It's a very small, skimpy tree. Doesn't mean that it's weak, though. Very powerful things come in very small packages. And so don't be deceived by appearance, okay? But let's see. This brings in the energy of connection. Connection. This tree brings in the energy of wisdom as well, great wisdom. And as you're looking, there's like a rustling of the leaves, the wind meeting the tree, shaking the tree, communicating with the tree. So there's some communication with the divine being, with source, and becoming one with the world around you, and becoming essence, in essence, becoming, a blessing. It's understanding your oneness with everything. This is something that's been coming out a lot in all my messages. And so this may be for someone, if you haven't viewed my last couple of messages, maybe go back, my last encouragements of the day. They were talking about being at one, recognizes that we're at one with everything. It's coming out in this message as well. There's no division, right? We are all one with everything. Whether we consider them to be living things or not, we're still one. And there is a calling to connect. And again, to honor everything, okay? That is the best course of action, is to acknowledge your oneness with all things. This is very much Native American, cultural type of thinking, very sacred energy. People who believed that they were one with everything, with the wind, with the trees, with the animals, right? They prayed to the Great Spirit. They also conducted annual sun dances, which sent up blessings to all beings and all things. They were very spiritual people. And they would do it around this tree, this Eastern cottonwood tree. And so this tree is very medicinal as well. The leaves are used to treat inflammation and to relieve pain. If you steam the leaves, it actually gives a concoction, or you steam the bark from the tree, actually gives some type of concoction that cures like snake bites, right? And so just very useful in a lot of different ways. From the spiritual element of this tree, Eastern cottonwood, it's all about connection to physical healing of the body. And it just goes further to demonstrate how we are one with everything. This brings in a level of balance back into the body to bring us back to healing. It's becoming one with this tree that brings about this healing. Okay. And so that's the best course of action, is acknowledging our oneness with everything to bring us back to that perfect balance, to a place of healedness, oneness with the divine being within us. And then lastly, we're going to look at the outcome, which is the hornbeam. The hornbeam looks very practical. I see a little tool with a stool right by it. Let's see. This is the outcome. Hornbeam. I love doing these, just tapping into different things, because there's some trees that I've never heard of. So as we're going through, I'm learning as well. All right, so for hornbeam with an N, M like mother, hornbeam. This is all about strength. That's where this is leading, to strength. This is one of the forest's strongest trees that's able to withstand all kinds of pressure and strains that life will bring, so that we can grow from our experiences and become more secure and confident. As you look at this tree, you can see how it's twining, right? It almost feels like several trees coming together to create this level of strength. And so this is where this is leading to. And this might be a good time to even step into new ideas, new experiences, to allow yourself to open up to personal projects that you've always wanted to do that may be calling you, or even cultivate your creative gifts and talents, because those things will open up and lead to fresh new opportunities, and keep life fresh and, exciting as well, and passionate, keep you passionately driven. And so hornbeam is actually calling us to continue to flourish in strength, so that we will be unstoppable. Okay. Unstoppable. So that is the first message coming out, so that we will be unstoppable. That's what this is all about. And when it's all said and done, that's what we'll be, unstoppable. if we allow spirit to do what spirit is doing, there are seeds that have been planted that are coming forward and producing fruit. I almost see you as that seed, right? That's been planted and that's moving along this course, that's becoming something very strong and useful and flourishing into this beautiful, strong source of life. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to pull out another spread for us here. This time I'm going to use my mushroom oracle deck. So if you're a lover of trees, of course, you may very well appreciate this particular reading. With the trees, we have the sweet orange tree, the bristlecone pine tree, the papaw tree, the coast redwood tree, the willow tree, the eastern cottonwood tree, and the hornbeam, a variety of beautiful trees that bring in lots of inspiration. Now we're going to go into a bit of a deeper energy as we look within the mushroom oracle. I'm going to do the mycelium spread, which is going to give us more information on contributing factors around any issues that may need to be looked at. Right. In this spread that we just did, we have the coast redwood that brought in the issue of growing. This was a challenge, right? So there may be something that may be trying to block the growth here that we're experiencing today, and blocking from reaching the highest potential possible. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper and get a little more information, if that is okay. So what is it that we don't see? What is it that we don't see here? There may be things lying underneath the surface that may not be seen, but it's very important. When it comes to this message, we are tapping into spirit. What is it that we don't see? And we have the tremella. Tremella is a 10, which reminds me of like an ending, something coming to an end, a change. Tremella. This is what we don't see. And it's yin, right? And I can't help but think about the yin yang energy. Within the yin yang concept, yin is the opposite of yang. So yin is the fluid energy. It's cold, it's not moving, right? It's calm, but it's nurturing, it's open, and it is deepening, it's descending. Where the yang is very active and fiery, it's fast, it's ascending, right? The yin is descending, it's grounding, where the yang is opening up, right? When one of them is out of balance, the other one is also going to be out of balance because they need each other to balance out, right? And so there's something about balance here that is probably not as evident as it could be. It's unseen, but it's very important. It's part of the base of what needs to be dealt with here. And so there's something about balance in the yin energy. And so we're looking at fluidity, nurturing, grounding energy, right? Very feminine energy. There's something about the feminine aspect that may need attention, that may be throwing everything else off as well. Being able to fall into the flow of things, taking time to nurture self and to slow down. There's many ways we can do that. When I look at the energy of yin, like we're talking about grounding energy, making sure we're drinking lots of water, taking in less caffeine, okay? Doing yoga, yin yoga, stretching, meditating. We did learn from Paul that meditation was primarily an inward influence that's working for us. Making sure we're eating nourishing, non-spicy foods. We could take baths, cleansing baths, all kinds of baths that can help bring in balance. We could take a walk. We can go out and get in water. So if we don't pay attention to this and bring it back into balance, if it remains unchecked, then what happens is the yang energy can then become take over. The yang energy can actually take over, and then it will become exhausted. It'll become exhausted. And then the yin will be exhausted as well, leaving our whole energy system in a deficit. Everything gets thrown out of balance, right? And so this is what is hidden, but it's very important. Underneath the surface, there's something about needing to balance the yin energy, bring it back into balance, right? We talked about a couple of ways that we can do that. This very nurturing, calm energy, okay? And so that's what's hidden. That's what we don't see. That's what's needed here. How can we do that? How can we do that? Even though we gave some examples, let's see what Spirit says. How to bring things back into perspective again. What is needed? So we have the violet coral community. Whew, this is resonating for me. As I always say, many times the messages that Spirit brings for you is for me as well. Many times it hits me first, you know, and then it's like, yeah, okay, I hear you, Spirit. As I'm giving the message, it's also a message for me many times too. Or sometimes Spirit has been dealing with me about it before I'm released to speak it, you know, to the atmosphere, to those that would receive it. And so this is all about community. And this is what's needed to allow things to be brought back into a place where it can be stable and continue to grow. Okay, talking about that balance. So community is needed. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. And so it just is what it is. If you feel like you are not where you are being called to be, right? I definitely feel the call to community, no doubt about that. And it's something that I don't feel is just random, right? There's a challenge there when we're called to a certain place or certain people, what we would call our tribe or our specific community. It's not just anyone that would open the door and invite you in. There's a specific place. There's a specific people I believe that Spirit is calling us to. And there's something here about the people that truly see you and love you for who you are. This is going to be a place where you don't have to change, but there's some acceptance, right? In the acceptance of who you are, change will take place, growth will take place. It's not that you have to change to be a part of something or a community or feeling like you have to change yourself to fit in, right? Change will result as a result of the nurturing you're getting from the community, not the requirements to fit in with it, right? There's a difference. And so be very careful, right? Because not everything will be aligned. Not every community is yours. Just because it's open and welcoming doesn't mean that it aligns with who you're being called to be and what you're being called to do. Okay. And so this is a calling to be open for some of you to look, to start seeking others like you with similar interests. Yeah. For some of you, you'll be drawing people to you. You are the one that's creating community that's going to make a difference. Whatever that is, it's going to be important to be yourself, to be your true, unique self. Okay. That is what is going to align you with your community. Take off the mask, be your authentic, true self. Okay. That's the best thing that you can do when it comes to aligning with this stability and growth. Okay. This is what's needed for someone, community. Okay. Where is this going? What will this look like when it is complete? Whatever this motion or this calling that we are on, what will this look like when it is complete? You could be someone who really likes soft colors like soft pales, really light browns, soft whites. You could be someone who really likes soft colors. Um, what will this look like? You have the oyster mushroom, one of my favorite mushrooms to eat. Tastes like chicken, okay? But this is all about regeneration. So this will look like something made new, regeneration. And I can't help but look at all those beautiful tiers of mushrooms here. Um, so this is going to look like something that has been recreated, um, something that possibly has been created quickly and prolifically, right? And in many different ways, in many different areas. And so this is something I feel like that will happen really quickly because the oyster mushrooms, they grow really rapidly and very interesting, but very, it's almost like amazing, to watch an oyster mushroom grow, how fast it grows and how uh, exact, right? It actually produces the mushroom. And so this is all about rapid growth and movement. So what this is going to create is this major shift, this change in what things are very quickly. It's not going to take long. This could be the ability, right? This is where we're going, leading to the ability to change things very quickly. This is like the tower energy, major shifts, dynamics to circumstances, major um, paradigm shifts, quick, sudden changes, right? This may be where you're being led. This may be something that you're being called to step into, the ability to shift things very quickly. It could be around healing. It could be around how people are perceiving their existence or their reality. There's something that it could be your life shifting quickly. But this is leading to being able to shift things very fast, right? With the oyster mushroom. Yeah. And it's multi beneficial. The oyster mushroom has lots of benefits to it. That's why it's so widely used. It's very useful. Um, and so stepping into a place where you may be tapping into many different talents that you have, that you carry, that's going to be beneficial to the world, to those around you, to your environment as well. This could be a time of just great expansion for you specifically as well, and for others, for some type of mission that you've been called to do as well. But whatever this is, I think everything will come together. There's lots of talk lately about oneness, being one. There's going to be like one purpose, no matter how big or how small it is. There's something about coming together and realizing oneness, being on one accord, right? This also may be a time to really let go of things that are no longer serving humanity, right? This may be about shifting things, helping to shift things in that way too. We are in a time and an era where we have moved into just another sense of being and existence, another era, right? And so things are changing. You may be part of that shift with the oyster mushroom. This is where this is going. There's lots to talk about change in the original spread here, and being able to weather the storm of change, to remain stable, to continue growing through it, to be persistent, to maintain your goals, and to push forward. Right? Remember at the beginning, there's a lot of talk about that. And so there's something here about letting go of old ideas, letting go of dead wood to create new things, to grow. And it's going to shift really fast. I almost feel like we are seeing that right before our eyes, the shift taking place. If you're paying attention, right? Sometimes it can happen so fast that we can't really see it or feel it. And we just wake up one day and we're like, wait a minute, when did that happen? When did that? Well, it was happening. We were just in the middle of it. So we couldn't necessarily see it unless we were attuned to it. I feel like it's happening right now. And it's letting go of that, letting go of things, the dead wood, so we can create room for the new growth. Yeah. And so there's something about building what's new from the old, recycling. This is the cycle of life, how energy never dies, but it just transforms, and we get to build on what is already there. So it's not really starting from the beginning, but it's breaking down what we need from what we have, what we don't need, so that we can create something new. Cultivating growth from the old ways to construct the new with these tools, right? Interesting, interesting. So that's where we're going with this. And this could be in our personal lives. I feel like this is also on a collective, on a world scale as well. And you have an important part to play in this. It's not necessarily about reinventing a wheel. It's about using what we already know works, and what no longer works. It's about releasing it to recreate something that works. Okay. Regeneration, the oyster mushroom, is what it will look like when it's complete. Something new. Okay. So what is needed for this to grow? When we look at relationships or elements, what is needed for this to grow, Spirit? What is needed for this to grow? All right, we have indigo milk cap. Authenticity is needed. True colors. Indigo milk cap, and it's a 33, which is a master number around teaching. Or no, it's not teaching. It's compassion. Ooh, it's compassion. And so I'm almost tapping into the energy of empathy. You know, a real sincere desire to care is the energy I'm getting. True colors. Empathy. I mean, authenticity. And the fact that some people, no matter, you know, how hard they try to hide, they can never hide who they truly are. You know, it never works. You know, we have to be, for some people, we just have to be our authentic selves. And when I look at this mushroom, the indigo milk cap, it's a stunning mushroom. As you can look at it, we have these purple spots underneath it, is like a purple undertones, right? There's no way to hide that. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. You're going to know that this is the purple, the indigo milk cap, right? With these distinguishing features, there's no way that you can really mistake it for any other mushroom. And I feel like this is really pointing to the fact that Spirit is saying that this is what's needed. You know, this relies on what's needed for growth, our authenticity, our stepping into our true essence of who we are and how we've been made and what makes us different. And, you know, that being truly reflected in our environment, our external environments, and our inner environment as well. The fact that there are certain things about us that we shouldn't want to change or we shouldn't want to hide, but it serves as a part of allowing things to continue to grow. It's an element that allows us to continue to grow when we're able to not only accept our own individuality, but accept each other's as well. When you cut this mushroom in half, the color on the inside is exactly the same as what's on the outside. And so there's something about the internal environment that reflects the external environment and vice versa. Like what you see is really what you see, you know, showing who you truly are from the inside. And it should be something to be excited about, something to be proud of, something to even celebrate, right? This is also, you know, a possible asking whether we are really allowing ourselves to be authentic. Are we? Because this is what is welcoming in that consistent growth so that we can move to this point of regeneration. This change that's supposed to be happening can only happen if we're not hiding ourselves from each other. Does your friends really know who you are, really, for real? Whether they like it or not, right? It's a question. Have you allowed yourself to truly be open and authentic and not hide anything? Taking the risk of being disliked for your authenticity is the greatest compliment that you can ever get. When someone dislikes you because you're authentic, that's the greatest compliment you can get, because that means that that's not your person. Your community is somewhere else. And so that allows you to align with where you are really supposed to be. So that's the greatest compliment that you can ever get. But can we say that? Can we say that our friends truly know us inside and out? Do we know ourselves on that level? Sometimes we can have masks on to hide ourselves from ourselves as well. So there's a lot that's being given when it comes to being informed about ourselves and about others, and about seeing traits also in others that may appear as red flags for us, right? Being able to be tapped into our intuition is a part of this, and trusting it when it comes to people and situations that we find ourselves connected to. This is all about trusting our gut instinct when it's telling us something doesn't quite align right or feel right, right? This is all about being aligned with the right people, being able to see that, when we are surrounded with people who don't really align in that way, people that we don't really know, right? Maybe they're saying one thing, but doing something totally different, believing people when they show us who they are. It's all about really taking notice of this. This is what we're talking about here. And it may come to a point of separating ourselves from places and people so that we can be aligned with where we're supposed to be. Okay. Yeah. Or it could mean speaking the truth, confronting the lies and the discrepancies. Maybe we're called to do that in certain circumstances. But masks can only last for so long. That's why they say to take relationships slow, because a mask can only last for so long and it falls off, and we're faced with each other, the true self. Then you get to make a real concerted effort in deciding whether or not this is the person that you want to be in, relationship with or connection with. Masks can only last for so long before those true colors show. And, if it is who you need, then it'll show. The true colors will show. And if it is who you are aligned to be with, that person, that thing will only empower you further in your journey, right? This is what Indigo Milk Cap is talking about. It's talking about that. The power and the growth that happens when we all sit in our true authenticity. This is what's going to further this mission that we've been given as we're coming into something new. Okay. All right. And then where is this eventually going to end? So we know the mission, what's supposed to come of this. Where will this eventually end and start anew? Where will this end and start anew? That was a cute little hop. Golden Teacher, Magic Mushroom, and Introspection. I like the Golden Teacher. That's always nice, because we're always learning. That is what the experience of life is. It's learning. You've heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? We've heard that saying many times. That's one of my favorite sayings. But this is a time to really understand that we're being led to an ending of closed-mindedness, an ending of dogma, of having to do it just one way. Maybe that did work at some point in time, but we're being led to something new. And this is a time to expand our awareness. And we're going to do that by going within. Meditation and prayer and oneness, presence are all part of where we are going. And the best part of this is that you, who's watching this right now, we're called here for a reason. You're the teacher. I believe that. You are the teacher. When we turn our attention inwards through that energy of meditation, stillness, and presence, we're connecting beyond this 3D realm, this physical realm. We're connecting to realms beyond our imagination that exist. and that are empowered to bring in this change. When we talk about shamanism and we talk about people that practitioners, right? We're talking about those that tap into these other realms, these other worlds from different dimensions, right? Lower, middle, upper, and they journey into those dimensions through forms of meditation, or we can call them planes of existence. Within each of these planes of existence, there's a communication that can take place with practically anything, right? Now we're tapping back into that energy of oneness with everything. We can communicate practically with anything and anyone without any limits of time or distance or space. This is why it said that each of us contain the whole universe within us. And also why we are actually considered to be our own best teacher as well. So the golden teacher mushroom here is a oracle card that is bringing the energy of, it has like a mild potency. And so it's good for those that are just kind of stepping into this energy. It could also be kind of like indicating that there's this beginning of a study that's taking place that's going to slowly lead us to something bigger. Mild is the key word here. So it's subtle. There's no need to do anything in excess. You don't have to spend like hours in meditation, but tap in, okay? Especially if this is something that's beginning. You're just learning or you're just becoming aware, right? Just availing yourself in the space is what you're being asked. And going in with an expectation, like if you're looking to have questions answered, this is where you can get that clarity. It may not come when you're sitting down in presence, but it will come to you and you'll know it when it comes, the answers, okay? And so the golden teacher is really that energy that's leading back to, and I think it was the Pipal tree, the energy of enlightenment, okay? But it's also teaching how to obtain kind of like this same level of consciousness within, okay? It's really here to learn and to be guided into the knowing of what we're capable of. So it's a teaching tool and how to break through limits that we've placed on ourselves that keep us in a box, in a certain way of believing or seeing ourselves stuck in this physical reality. We're being called to see beyond the linear time and space and to realize the potential that is within, okay? It's unlimited. We're the ones who limit it, okay? And so that's what this is all about. That's where we're coming to, a time of being released into this new sense of being, this new awareness, this new reality, okay? There's a truth here that the current era that we're in has in fact passed away. We're in the land of the in-between, where we're transitioning from what was into what will be, okay? And you're part of that transition. So thank you for stopping by today and taking a listen. We have work to do. Yes, we do. I'm just going to get any advice with the tarot, my star tarot deck, to see what spirit has in the form of advice. I think it's pretty clear what's going on here. We are ushering in the new age. The new age. Very spiritual age. And notice I didn't say religious. That's different. A new spiritual age. Okay. Could it be religious? It could, but that's not all it is. Okay. Let's see. Any advice for my viewers as we end out this reading today on this beautiful Saturday? Any advice? And I'm hearing community, King of Swords, King of Wands, Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Strength and death. Okay. And on the bottom, we have Fool, bringing in the new energy. King of Pentacles, very healing, shamanistic energy, where we were just talking about as the teacher. The Two of Pentacles, the choice of the new. We have the King of Pentacles on the bottom, the Ace of Swords. Yes, I love this. And so in the advice we have coming through the King of Swords, which is very The King of Swords, a very beautiful energy, brings in this clarity, excellence in operation, strategy, um, perception, and intellect, who's mastered focus, clarity, insight, the element of fire and air balanced together, integrating that fiery masculine life force with brilliant intellect. And we have that here with the King of Swords and the King of Wands, the air and the fire. So there's something about mastering, balancing those two beautiful, strong energies, um, resulting in divine reasoning and expanding into intense passion for truth and justice, being a mediator between heaven and earth, being able to think quickly, being very quick, igniting the sharp insight, groundbreaking ideas, master visionary, bridging order in nature with expansion of science on a higher octave of understanding and balance. You know, and when we look at the King of Wands, which is very spiritual, growth and creation, carrying the energy of this king is very intense, possessing enormous spiritual strength, moving through blends of the cosmic flow, also a visionary, you know, looking out towards the horizon and can't be stopped, carrying light and bringing energy to burn away any challenges, very strong and creative, passionate, courageous, probably one of the most of the other kings, very fiery energy, powerful, difficult to hold back, very unstoppable, very mastered in his ability to hold that fiery raw life force, the kundalini channeling the energy with a divine balance, cycling it into creation for the world. Also a mediator, symbolizing the starry bridge between matter and spirit, heaven and earth, connecting with the higher realms, transforming energy into magnificent insights and inspirations and wonderful creations for the kingdom. It's like a genius energy of enlightenment, focused vision, having a very high expression of creative imagination in action. And it's not just imagination, but it's being brought into the world. And so just these two energies alone is very powerful. The word that sticks out to me is a visionary. So what is yet to come? There's the energy of being, allowing yourself to be the vessel that's available and open to bring these things into being. I feel like this is channeling. Spirit says, allow me to channel through you. It's not you. Understand that very clearly. It's not you. Spirit's going to channel this genius through you. Okay. Ooh, this is fiery. Y'all ready for this? You ready for this? Then we have the Ten of Wands here coming through, which is a very abundant, wealthy energy that brings success and every beautiful thing that life can hold. The Ten of Pentacles is all about spiritual wisdom being channeled and expressed into the material world. Having the key to living our earthly desires that's imbalanced with divine thought that will also reward and produce, very magical outcomes. There's a deep appreciation for not only what we've achieved on earth, but also what we've achieved in the spiritual evolution of our lives as well. Those two go hand in hand. And when we balance the earthly achievements with the spiritual evolution, the experience is truly magical. Okay. This is all about recognizing how life gives us treasures and they come through cycles of process. This sweet orange, we were talking about the seeds planted that we're able to, experience here, right? We go through these processes of giving and receiving, of sowing and reaping, okay, of planting and harvesting. The Ten of Pentacles speaks of those miracles that happen in everyday life. We just have to be attuned to them. They're happening every day. The Ten of Pentacles reminds us of that. Wake up. Don't be asleep. The gift of the Ten of Pentacles is the ability to alchemically blend the energies of spirit and matter into our wondrous life. Not only that, this is also our home, our work, our luxuries in life, our good health, our success, being able to pass that on in a familial sense. This is legacy as well. And then we have strength and death coming in the advice as well. The Spirit is saying, utilize what you have and what you are given. It's going to be above and beyond what you're asking for. Okay. But understand that it's being given. You are the vessel that this is being channeled through, down to earth. Okay. You are the vessel. Now, when we look at strength, okay, this has become one of my favorite cards. This is all about discovering our inner truth and courage, discovering just how powerful we are. In this card, I love this deck because it shows her standing next to a lion, holding a snake, right? Two of very dangerous animals that we don't necessarily befriend because of the food chain, right? But there's something about her the fact that she's able to stand next to the lion holding the snake, right? There's something that it says about her and what she's learned, how she's learned to tame two of the most dangerous animals that exist for humans. It speaks about her position, but at the same time, this is all about the inner truth and courage to experience things and to champion those experiences and to learn from them and to master ourselves and those experiences, but also to stand in a position of humility as we stand in our power. There's a balance there, okay? Death brings in change, transformation, things coming to an end as other things are being rose again. Here we have I always forget the name of the bird that rises again and again and again and again. I feel like it symbolizes time, us being in this time where something is about to rise. It's about to rise again better. This era that we're in, we have the privilege of being a part of this rising again better, more sharp, more resilient, more effective. And so this is all about us taking it seriously, what we've been given, this opportunity to be a part of what is coming about right now in the world, in this time and space. It's beautiful, and we are a part of it, okay? If you know, you know. If this message is for you, then you'll know it is, okay? Take it. If it resonates, utilize it. Talk back to me. If Spirit's been talking to you about this, if it's enlightening, if it gives you life, let me know. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If it's for you, you'll know, okay? No shadow of a doubt. And so just a few signs that came out here. I didn't pull a lot of cards, but the ones that I did pull was the air sign, Gemini, Sagittarius, Ten of Pentacles is Virgo, Leo, and Scorpio. You could be any of these signs. These could be energies that are heavy in your birth chart. It could be your sun, moon, rising sign, very prominent positions. Maybe you just have a lot of these energies in your chart overall. Okay. But that's the reading that we have today as we tap into what the elements has to say to us. And it's very interesting how all of my messages tap into the same energy that we're dealing with right now in this point in time and space. No matter what deck I pull from, the same messages keep recycling. So Spirit is saying something about oneness, realizing that we're interconnected with each other. We are one with everyone and everything. We have been called here to do something. We are in the middle of a change, a major shift in the existence of humanity, a major shift in the era that we're experiencing. And so, yeah, take this as it resonates. Okay, if it's for you, it is. You'll know. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. That's thus says Spirit. Okay. Blood Moon Oracle here. My name is Letty. It's always a pleasure to read for you. Have a wonderful Saturday. Bye.